Welcome back. Showing you guys a bit of the skyline from my office window. I wish we could talk about this for a few minutes, but sadly, no. We have a juicy watch review coming up. So what's up, YouTube? I got another watch I'm reviewing this week, and I did another watch last week when it was 100 degrees, and today it's like in the 60s and 70s. So it's really cold today, hence I'm wearing my sweater vest. So let's open this guy up. Currently wearing my wrist check is my Calibre 5700 to know watch. I did a review on this watch about a week ago, and I got this watch about a week ago, and I wore it every day in extreme temperatures. So and I wore it in the backyard playing with my son in a pool we had in the backyard. I wore this around New York City, around the suburbs of Westchester, in Brooklyn. So this got a lot of wear and tear from me. Wore it on the subway, on the bus, in my car. So let's unbox it. So it came in this very interesting box here. I think it's a European edition watch, and it's a fake unboxing because I already wore this watch. And this is the watch I'm reviewing. It's the Calibre 5700, and I believe, I can't remember if this is the, well, I'll show you in a minute, but that's the watch there. Take this out of the box. It's actually a little unpolished. So I'm showing you the watch there. So it's a beautiful watch. It's a gold two-tone watch, and it came in this really nice box here. It's a hard cardboard box, really narrow box. It has the Citizen logo in there, which is kind of cool. And I'm gonna take the watch out the box so you guys can see the watch. I like to show the watch in something like this before I put it on my wrist. So you see how the links are. It has like a link similar to my Omega Speedmaster Mark 40, where it's just a bracelet kind of. It's like there's no clasp there. The clasp is hidden in the bracelet. It's just a continuous link, which I love that. I love that for a watch. My only gripe on this link, it's not tapered, so it's 20 millimeter. I'm gonna do the measurements in a minute. So it's 20 millimeter at the lugs and 20 millimeters at the clasp where it locks and opens there. So, and the model of this watch is, I'm gonna put the link down below, is the AT1008-58L. And there's different, there's 4 watches in this family, this Calibre 5700 family. And my interest in this watch primarily comes that it's a sub 40 millimeter in diameter watch, and it's a 20 millimeter lug width for bracelets and straps, which is what I really like, and that's kind of my target going forward for watch collecting. So let's put this down. We're gonna take a close look at this in a minute. So we're gonna rotate the camera and get a close look at this guy. Actually, before I do, I'm gonna just put it on my wrist, so you guys can kind of see before I get into the measurements. I'm also going to do some Lume shots coming up of this watch, which a lot of reviews don't tend to do. They review the watch, there's a guy talking for like 10 minutes and he doesn't show you a Lume shot or measurements, or he says what the measurements are. So it's kind of a dressy watch. I'm going to kind of see if I could stand up here so you guys can see how it looks with business attire. That's how it looks in the cuff, on the wrist. It is a small, slim watch, so it goes well under a business shirt, which is what I'm wearing. And I'm actually gonna take off this silly vest. It's a little warm in this room, so I'm gonna take off my sweater vest. And kind of that's how it looks. It flips right under the cuff of your shirt. That's kind of important detail, kind of how it looks with sort of business attire. So let's take this off and get a closer look at this guy. Beautiful watch, by the way. So let's get right into the measurements here before I even discuss the details. So right off the bat, you gotta calibrate this sometimes to 0, make sure everything's perfect. So right off the bat, the diameter across the dial is about 39 millimeters. It should be exactly 39. There might be some error on my part. There, I got it perfect. The lug to lug, top to bottom is, and it has really wide lugs on this watch. It's about 44. Try to do that exact to get it. So it's about 45, and I think that's what the description says. The lug width is 20, which is kind of what I'm getting there. And like I said, this bracelet does not taper. So at the clasp, and I'm beginning to realize that's a very nice positive of a watch to have the bracelet taper. At the clasp, it's going to be also 20 there at the clasp, where by clasp meaning where the watch folds over there. The thickness of this watch, I believe it's not too thick as well. It's well balanced. Like for thickness, it's about 10 millimeter thick, which is really, really cool. So it's a nice shaped watch for someone with wrists like mine. I have about 7-inch wrists, so it fits really well. And it's in a sort of the size range of a Rolex Submariner or Omega Speedmaster. So it's within the size range of size parameters of ultra high-end luxury watches. Usually a watch like this, a Citizen chronograph watch, will be 42 to 45, 46, 47 millimeters. So to have a watch like, with this many features in such a small diameter is really, really a bonus, I think. As you see there, it picks up a bit of fingerprints on the dial, but the dial face is very beautiful. I'm going to try to get my focus on there. Actually, I have a new phone that has a zoom feature, which is really, really cool. Look at that, guys. So the dial is this gold and navy blue and sort of like a grayish white there. And it's very, very beautiful. Very different as well. You're not going to see a watch like this from any other watchmaker. Now I did get a scratch there, right? You see that it's like a 7 there. I picked that one up playing with my son in the backyard. This is a mineral crystal, so it will scratch easily. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. I probably could polish it out or replace it with sapphire crystal. Citizen service centers do offer the option to upgrade mineral crystal watches to sapphire crystals. I did a video on that about 10 years ago, I think now. So here it is next to the brother watch in the 5700 Calibre family. Sorry guys, my focus is a little bit blurry. There you go. So you get to see what the dial features are on this. The 3 sub dials are for the 24-hour timekeeping, the the timekeeping for the seconds is in the 6 o'clock sub dial. The date display window it's sort of similar here, but on this one it's done really well. I'm gonna have to pull the crown out to show you guys, just to move that hand out of the way, to show you guys the date display window. It has a gold kind of framing around that 23 there. It's very, very beautiful. The font on this watch is very diverse. There's a lot of different fonts going on here, different font styles. But the Citizen Eco Drive is the normal Citizen Eco Drive. It's water resistant to 100, I think that's feet depth. I think it's about 30 meters, 100 feet if I'm correct there. So, but I like the date display window, that little detail of going around the box there. It's just like here. It's gray to match the dial on this watch, but the 10 o'clock sub dial is very interesting. That's the 30-minute keep-in for the chronograph. So I actually already have it ticked off at 30 because I used it last night, and I find the 30-minute chronograph. I was doing my laundry last night. I used it for drying my clothes, so I timed it, put my money in for 30 minutes, and came back down when that was at 30. I forgot to reset it, but to reset the chronograph, you just hit the bottom pusher there, and you see how quickly it flips back. So it flips back to 0. To start the chronograph is the upper pusher there. I guess I gotta, the crown is out actually. So the crown has to be pushed in first of all before you could play around the chronograph. So to start the chronograph, it ticks. So it's not a quick sweeping chronograph. It's not a mega quartz watch. I did mention my Calibre 2100 and a few other modern day Citizen watches. This watch is from 2005, 2006 era, but this Calibre 5700 is older than that, this watch. So it uses more of a ticking sort of chronograph second hands. The newer Citizen watches like the Calibre 2100 and newer calibers uses a sweeping sort of a mecha quartz sweeping chronograph second hand for the chronograph timekeeping. So to pause it, you hit that button again. You could start it again. You could pause it again and then reset it by hitting this back button, and it just glides back to the 12 o'clock marker there. So it's a beautiful watch. What I like about this watch, the tachymeter is also sort of a 3D, the way it's inside the bezel there, and that's all navy blue with sort of a grayish white thing. And Citizen makes, I think, honestly, makes the best dials on watches outside of the luxury market. These are watches in the sub $500 range, and look at the 3D detail on this dial with the different colors inside the dial. It's just very beautiful, very beautiful. This is also a mineral crystal that will scratch if you're not careful with it. So let's go to the case back of this watch. It's just a generic case back. It's, like I said, it's a mineral crystal watch. Normally if this was sapphire crystal, it would be etched with sapphire. It'd say sapphire in there. If it was titanium, it would say titanium, but this is just stainless steel bracelet, stainless steel case body with the gold trimmings there. And you see there, the crown is not marked, but it has this sort of like this nice effect there. I like that the pushes are square and not round. It looks really good in this watch. I'm going to zoom back out there. So I like that the pushes are square and not round there. Beautiful watch. It doesn't have a crown guard, so it's just a perfect circle there. My one gripe in sort of the design of this watch is that the lugs are sort of, it has this extra piece here. Kind of wish it was just a bit more simpler, but it goes with the style of the bracelet. I kind of wish the lugs were just a little bit slimmer down. But it is a thick lug on a very small, medium-sized watch, so it doesn't look too bad. Beautiful watch. I'm going to do a Lume shot coming up to show you guys what it looks like in the night. Now, this is one of the only ones in the family, I believe, that has the Lume on the markings for the hour markings, so it's very interesting there. That's it. So the font is beautiful. You see here, it's not much more I can say about it. The only thing is the glass picks up fingerprint, as well as this polished bezel here picks up fingerprints, and I'm assuming from some of the used watches I've seen of this sold on eBay of this model, this picks up a lot of scratches, because some of the ones I've seen are very beat up, just covered in scratches. So just probably a Sunday watch. You're not going to wear this every day. Like I wore it to test it out for my review, so I can say that the mineral glass scratches really easily, so you have to be careful with that. So I'm going to do some Lume shots next, and then we're going to just do a final wrap up. So this is what it looks like with the Lume. Trying to get a focus in there. It's pretty bright. You get the hour, minute, hand, as well as the markers around the dial. The gold needles actually reflect a lot of light in dim lighting, so it's really easy to read the chronograph needle as well. But the Lume is pretty bright. Here you see how the Lume compares to my Casio Lume. Citizen has really good Lume, really good Lume. Hey guys, I'm back again for a quick wrap up on this beautiful watch. It is the AT1008-58L. There's various families of this watches. I'm gonna put the screen cap after this video, just to show you the different families. So this is 4 in the family, and I have 2 in this collection. The family is the 5700 Calibre. So I have the 2 ones of this in the collection. Also want to get another one that's all silver with a black dial. But again, it's an easy to wear watch. These sub 40mm Citizens are very easy to wear. It looks good. It looks very expensive. I got a lot of compliments on this watch. People think it costs way more than it does. Simply because it's, like I said, it's in that Rolex Submariner, sort of Omega Speedmaster kind of size. You know, if it was bigger and gaudier, I think people would say, oh, it looks like a cheaper watch. But because it's small and it suits my wrist, it's not overpowering, oversized. It looks very expensive. The one gripe I did have was the bracelet. It tends to be very rattly, so it's a very rattly bracelet. And also, it was very hard to get the link sized to fit my wrist, because it kind of either fits loose or fits tight. And I feel like I've had that with Citizen bracelets before. My Calibre 2100, if I remember correctly in my past videos, I mentioned that bracelet had the same, it was either tight or loose on my wrist. And I have exact 7-inch wrist, so that's kind of how it looks on the wrist. It's just very rattly, you hear that? So that's about it. I have extra links that came off of it, so you know, that's cool. And these are easily available online. You could buy these. The way the bracelet is, you could put a strap on this. It's a weird link, but the way the lug ends meets the watch, it's just basic. So you could easily put a strap on this. And 20 millimeter is I think is a sweet size for bracelets and straps. Like if you want to modify a watch, and this being a 20 millimeter lug width, you'll get a lot of options to modify this. Not much more I could say about this watch, but it's a very beautiful watch. Again, it's an eco drive, so it's powered by sunlight. It has the 30-minute chronograph, and I find that's useful for something that's as basic as cooking or doing your laundry or doing basic everyday things. If you're working on a computer and you just want to time maybe like a coffee break, or you're at work, or you know, you just want to time a project you're doing, simple, easy chronograph to use. More so than a 12-hour chronograph or an hour chronograph, because you could track the minutes much easier on a 30-minute sort of chronograph. I also like how the subdial, the 10 o'clock, for the minute of the chronograph, is sort of like a weird half a circle. I forgot to mention that, and I think that's cool. It kind of breaks the symmetry of this watch, and I think that's very, very interesting when you look at it. Get a screen cap there. This has it, but it's not as pronounced as that. So you can see this has the 30-minute chronograph, but it's not quite as pronounced as the way it looks on this guy. But like I said, I love wearing this watch for a week and a half I've had it. You know, no complaints. The only thing is the bracelet is kind of hard to calibrate right to fit wrist, exact to fit your wrist if you want like a loose but not too tight fit. But that's it, guys. That's my review on this AT1008 watch. Very good watch. Citizens don't make these watches anymore. The Calibre 57 or similar caliber watches like this are bigger. They usually run to 44 millimeter, 45 millimeter, I think they still have the same materials like mineral crystal and stainless steel, with maybe some titanium versions. But like I said, I'm gonna try to send this into a service center and get AR coated sapphire crystal put in this watch. And I think it was $160 is what I paid, but I think on this watch is definitely worth it. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. These are just pictures of me wearing the watch. So you can see that I wore the watch the week I had it on my wrist to review. I don't like to review stuff without trying them out. In the car with the kids. Backyard with my son, 106-degree weather. At the gym with my son, kids gym.